Welcome back everyone to a new Let's Play series. I would like to explain myself briefly. I'd also like to apologize extensively. So, it'll vary. We'll have some brief, some long, we'll have, whatever. So, my apologetics, or my extensive apologetic nature will consist mostly of the lack of FTB Revelation episodes and the sudden death of the FTB Revelation series. Long and short of it, I started playing the pack over the winter break. It was cool, it was fun, it was a break from what I normally do, and I got bored. That's basically the most courteous way I can put it, is I find the pack boring. It doesn't really challenge me that much. It just gives me basic stuff to do. Like, if you notice in the Let's Play series, I think in episode, 9, 10, I had an angel ring and was flying like no one cared. Plus, I gotta be honest, I said at the beginning of the series, I like the idea of not having to make a pack and not having to manage a pack. Oh, how I was so wrong. It was both a blessing and a curse. Oh no, I just did that on accident. Oops. So it was nice not having to worry about it. It was also annoying having to go check every single time I launched the pack to make sure that if there was an update, I installed it, because I use multi-MC. All the mod pack launchers are kind of controversial and unsteady, except for multi-MC. It's always been there for me. And so I, humbly stay by multi-MC, and so that means each time I launch the pack, I've got to do something about making sure it stays up to date. The other problem is that there were a lot of mods in there that needed to be there that weren't. For example, FTB Utilities was the relied on mod for chunk loading. I don't know if you've ever used FTB Utilities for chunk loading, and if you have, I am sorry for whoever other than FTB Utilities hurt you. To the developer of FTB Utilities and the FTB Lib and the entire FTB pack add-on series, including Yaba, who which made an extensive appearance in many of those mods, I'm sorry for whatever you've been through as a kid. Because they are not good. They are very bad. The chunk loading would stop working each time I'd log out of my pack. And long and short of it, I had a lot of issues with the pack. I'll just leave it there. I don't want to get too controversial about it. So here I am. I have painstakingly devised my own pack here. As you can tell, the biomes are a little weird, aren't they? Don't you think? I mean, we recognize these blocks, kind of. That's dark oak. Dark oak. So vanilla blocks, kind of, except for this weirdness. Well, we have Biome Bundle combined with Open Terrain Generator. Open Terrain Generator provides the methods by which Biome Bundle can do its magic. So, there's not really a lot to know about Open Terrain Generator as to what it does, unless you just feel like making your own terrain types, but Biome Bundle itself adds a whack ton of new, really cool looking, relatively realistic biomes, not always completely realistic, but pretty close, that are gorgeous, and use nothing but vanilla blocks. So, I think it's a really cool mod. I personally strongly recommend it so far. I haven't had any qualms with it that definitely have veered my opinion on that yet. So the other weird mod for terrain generation that we have is this one. All of our resources for this game, shy of Ender resources, I haven't redone anything in the end, will come from Geolysis. As far as mineral resources go. Geolysis has compatibility that's extensive with mod packs like this one, and in general, like if I find something that's missing that should be there, I add it. I'm the author of it. I think it's a cool mod, but I'm biased because I wrote it. But it basically aims to make Terraformacraft kind of style of ore generation without the rest of Terraformacraft. But I kind of wanted more of the rest of Terraformacraft, so if you look in JEI for pickaxe, you won't find a normal pickaxe anywhere. Recipes for normal pickaxes have all been removed. Instead, you have these various... There's a compatibility layer, by the way, so you don't have to worry about always having to do a cast, but there's the adventurers... Why don't those show up? I guess they handle their own toolbox. So there's adventurer, or their own tooltip, rather. There's adventurer's toolbox, which is a really beautiful mod that is made by Mangoose, who also wrote Rustic. And it is a Tinker's Construct-like mod, which allows for modular tools, but not quite to the same level, and the vanilla distinction that you get from Tinker's Construct. For example, you can still apply vanilla enchantments to these, which is really cool. I really like these because they act as that little middle stage between Tinker's and vanilla. So with that in mind, we have started the game with 2 schematics. I feel like these are the 2 most important ones, pick and axe. So let's start with a pick, because we have stumbled across some coal right off the bat in geolysis, which is not usually what happens. So this was a really lucky break. I'm not saying that it's usually meant to be like really rough, but yeah. So we have, before I do that, I want to explain how I know these recipes. The game starts you with the Toolmaker's Treatise from Adventurer's Toolbox, which tells you a lot about tool making, the materials you can use for various pieces, which here you can see for tool heads, for hafts, which a tool has a head, a haft, and a handle, unless it's a sword. So here are our handles, and then we have extra adornments which can be applied as well on craft. You can't apply them afterwards, and you can't swap out parts later. It's just kind of a matter of picking wisely when you create these tools. And these tools do break. There is no real auto repair logic there either, so just expect to treat them more like a vanilla tool than usual. So we have these little clusters that sit around on the surface from geolysis, and those help us figure out where underground our mineral deposits are, unless we're in this situation, which it's right there. It's sticking out on accident. Normally these are deep underground, so, you know, don't expect that every time. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade my pick already because we're going to definitely want that. The coal blocks, as you can see, take a very long time to mine. But we want to grab these because charcoal crafting has been disabled unless you use a coke oven. Or smelting has been disabled unless you use a smeltery or some processing step, like either crushing it or refining it some other way. I don't care how, but you can't just take the raw ore and smelt it. So, I'm trying to spice up the early game, and a few other things have been spiced up as well. So if we go look at the angel ring, I'm okay with the angel ring. It doesn't bother me, but the recipe does. So the angel ring actually takes some thought and effort now. We also require, let me think, what else have I really actively changed? Well, I haven't really made everything difficult. I just specifically, like, if we look at geolysis, there's all these ore clusters that we can get from these, and you'll notice that not a single one can be smelted in a furnace. The redstone furnace is the only exception, and that's just if they happened to get registered by Ore Dictionary. But even then, if you've had a redstone furnace, then good on you. You can smelt it anyways. You've exceeded a step at this point to process your stuff. So regardless of which tool set you pick, you definitely want to get a Tinker Smeltery just for processing your metals that you'll find. So we'll get to finding metals later. There's a lot of preliminary stuff that we need to do here, even in the Stone Age. So definitely some cool, fun Episode 1 stuff that we can get started with. The fact that we had coal right here is really quite amazing, so I am super pleased with that. So I'm going to get a little bit of coal, probably until this pick breaks. Maybe actually I should prioritize finding some more flax, actually. Let's go get some more flax. Let's do that real quick. I want to find more flax so that I can make a bed when it comes nighttime. That is definitely a concern. Another challenge that I've placed on myself, here's azurite, by the way. That is a resource, a huge resource. The more of these samples there are on the ground, the more there is underground. But that is a huge resource for copper. But the huge resources have the detriment of being harder, more difficult to get to, and requiring iron or better to break for a pickaxe. Flax. Perfect. Just want to be sure I can make a bed. This will be pretty important to us, I would say. We'll make it a vanilla-colored bed. Why not? Do I have... I know that there are more efficient ways of doing this recipe, but why not? So we'll take this guy, make a crafting station out of it. Why not? And we'll make a bed. Yay! So, I'm going to go back to that coal and start mining up until I have either a broken tool or well over 2 stacks, which broken tool will come first. I'll see you guys. Where was that coal again? Ah, here we go. I'll see you guys in just a bit. So I'm gonna be honest, this is getting really boring to mine. So I am just gonna make a derp stack like that to indicate that that's where that is. Let's go explore. There's a lot of stuff to see in this pack, and I don't want to just spend the entire time mining coal. It's gonna take forever to get all that coal anyways, so leave it behind, move on, go on to the next place. So, there's a few things that you're going to notice about my inventory right now. I have a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. I can actually get these really easily, so I can grab those on the way out. The reason for there being a lot of stuff in my inventory is mostly that I get spawned with a lot of books. So maybe we should get started with trying to get a solution for our book problem. Because we do want these books. They're useful. They're just... I don't know. There's just too many. There's so many of them. So, as I mentioned, we have Biome Bundle and Geolysis. I want to talk about some of the other mods while I walk around trying to pick up some reeds. We have a little bit of wood as well that we can work with here. Looks like there's plenty of reeds over here in this general vicinity, though. So, the mods we have include Immersive Engineering and a couple of add-ons. We have Applied Energistics, but without Redstone, or Refined Storage, or any of those add-ons. We're using just plain old Applied Energistics. I feel like that's just going to be the easiest, cleanest way. And there's some cool features in it that I really like that we've not used in a while. Oh, that's a bird. Oh, that's lava. So, definitely kind of something that I don't mind using again. It's been a little while. In a personal pack Let's Play. Here we have an important thing. Remember how earlier we had those little pockets that were just weird looking of the coal? Here's a little piece of hematite, and hematite is a resource, if you right click, for iron. So if we found it there, then we want to mark that, because if we look at our inventory and get ourselves a new book, I know, are you excited? More books! And we might want to get ourselves... There's a big cave like right underneath me, isn't there? Let's keep an eye on this area. I want to grab some more flax. Oh, there's some over here. Gonna need some more string. Fortunately, I don't have to fight anything for it at this stage in the game. That would not go well. But we'll just run back over. The reason I want string is because we're gonna make books the cheap way. Not cheap as in cheaty, just cheap as in more affordable. So we have our torch down somewhere over here. I think it's like right here, isn't it? Yes, good. So let's go ahead and toss down this guy. We can work on getting ourselves... We need 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll need... we need to get some Tinker's Construct stuff going. But yeah, so there's some added difficulty to the pack in the start of the game with the mining and such, but once you get into it, it really isn't that bad. I speak from experience. I've had a pack laid out like this before on my server several times. I just don't find it to be incredibly challenging. Some people do, but I don't. And you know what? We could also do another set so that I can do another one of these. That, and nope. That. Alright, so, first thing is first, we have a lot... Why did I get that recipe? We have a lot of books. Let's make a bookshelf and combine it with a book to get an Akashic Tome. Let's also grab ourselves another wooden pickaxe, just like this. Remember, we had one of those earlier. And combine it with this extra book to get a Geolysis field manual. This is going to be useful because it will, as you can see, tell you everything you need to know about mining with Geolysis. Now we can combine these with the Akashic Tome. You cannot combine multiple at once, but that's not a big deal. So yeah. Going back to challenging yourself early game, mineral excavation is kind of fun to deal with, and by fun I mean kind of hard. But once you get to the point where you feel more comfortable with it, it's not so bad at all, and you'll get pretty proficient pretty quickly. You'd be surprised. So if we found it here, I can do a few things. I don't have any others around, so I'm assuming it's a small vein. That number does make a difference. And if I pull up F3 and G, I can check around to make sure. I don't remember which chunk it was in. If I find another one in this chunk, then we'll know it was this chunk. Okay, it was. So we're going to look kind of somewhere in the center, maybe. That seems like a good place to start. And we'll go ahead and pick this up, because you can pick these up for what they have. And remember, you're not going to actually get to smelt these in our pack, but in the normal instance you can. I just specifically made it so that you can't. Made a lot of torches too at some point. I didn't mean to make all that many. Alright, so we can refer to our handy dandy field manual to about, I think it's page 13. Yeah, page 13. And look at where hematite spawns. So it looks like we're between Y32 and Y60, and if we look currently, we are at Y64. So we can start by going down 4 blocks. I doubt it's going to be there. I'm also afraid we're going to run into that cave. But we will just kind of branch out every now and then and see what we find. You don't have to branch out very far, just 4 or 5 blocks. You'll find it usually if you start out in the center. You'll have a good chance of finding it at least. And so, oh, there's a cave down there. No thanks. Is there a way to get around going into this cave? There is. There is indeed. Perfect. Sorry, I am not nearly well equipped enough to deal with a cave right now. And so I won't. I just won't have it. So, I don't know. I don't have a pickaxe right now is the problem. Or even an axe. If I had an axe, it would be okay. I could handle this. But this is a Zistonian guy, which is going to be a pain. Why don't I get myself a real tool? Let's get ourselves the axe head. Combine it with these guys and get a stone axe. Come on, stop moving. I evidently can't crit him because he's so short. So these guys spawn, but they don't actually drop anything. We'll see. Or they don't drop anything special, rather. We'll see if I end up keeping them around. I don't really expect to, honestly. Well, that's a step in the right direction. I still feel vulnerable, because I still am. Alright, that's a little better. So, let's keep on digging around and see if I can find it now. Although I may have passed it at this point, we'll see. Definitely does not seem like I am in good territory. So let me come back whenever I do find it, because it's probably going to take a bit. So I have to be honest, maybe this wasn't a good place to start. I could not find it, and kind of lost my patience. So we'll find something else. There are better ones out there. That one just got stuck in a cave, and it just kind of became a pain. So we can pick up various resources along the way, though, just for fun. Maybe find a place where we can start to settle in for this first episode as well. We need to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Vigilant for food. We don't have any, and we need to find any that we can. So we want to keep our eyes peeled for any opportunities to get food. So yeah, as far as the pack goes, we have, I think I've talked about most of the basics that we already have. There's not really a lot that I have planned for this pack. Oh, it's mocking them. Oh, hey look, cinnabar. This is really useful to find, because if we can get a little bit more iron or limonite, we can make ourselves a compass now, which is super useful. I am going to take a screenshot of this location just in case. I know that's not really the idea of the whole system that we have working in place here, but I don't have any really tall things that I can use to like easily mark an area right now. I don't have a lot of blocks on me. So yes, we have, what is this, kimberlite? No, quartz. I also am slightly bothered by that, but I understand why it happened as a result of overlapping terrain generations and timings. But I think I want to go over there. Oh look, and a piece of iron. We can actually cheat the system a little bit with just this vanilla iron. But I'm not. Haha, you thought I was gonna go get it. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to apologize for the short death, or rather, sudden death. Sudden is the word I'm looking for. The sudden death of the Revelations Let's Play series. It just really wasn't interesting. So, like I was saying before about expectations for this series, don't have any. I have no upload schedule. My bare minimum to myself, my promise to you guys, is that I will upload no less than 2 episodes of this, what you're seeing right now, Let's Play series, a month. I know that doesn't sound like much. I know people do it every day. I know people do it like 2 videos a day. I'm not those kind of people. I don't get paid for YouTube. I do it for fun. It's fun for me. I've always just done it for fun. I could care less who watches. I could care less if no one watches. I've had that for a little while. I literally just do it because sometimes I have ideas or ramblings or just concepts that I want to see done, and I'll do them, and then I'll talk about them with possibly other people, possibly just myself on YouTube. Who knows? I just figure sometimes maybe there is someone else out there who thinks the same way as I do about something. And I found with the single-player Let's Play series that I used to have back in the good old days of 110, you guys really, like, if you are watching, any of you who remain, or if you've gone back and watched, if you're watching now, you guys really, like, motivated me to make new episodes. You talked about, ooh, cool thing, what if you did this, or didn't really like the style of that so-and-so, like my tree. Oh god, I got so much criticism on the tree that I built for Botania the first draft, and then the second draft was like, okay, you guys really called me out on my crap. This was a terrible tree. Let's start again. And I did, and it was strictly because you guys said, yo, love ya, that's an ugly tree. So, I mean, and I agreed, and I was like, I didn't really think it was that great, but I wanted to make sure it wasn't just me who thought it was kind of ugly. So, I miss that. I miss having the interactivity, and I feel like the interactivity is massively lost by me doing the voiceover clips that I used to do for FTB, Revelation. So, I figured, you know, if I do this style again, it's the same as how I used to do the Let's Play. But because of my busy schedule and my lady-havingness and just things here and there, I figured I'll make no promises with how frequently I can upload. I'll upload in the same way that I used to, it just won't be as frequently. So I don't think anyone's going to really have any big qualms with that. So far I've seen that most people say, you know what, take a break if you need it. Do it at whatever rate you can, but we enjoy the videos. Stay around. You guys have been a super loving community for me. I've had nothing but the best from you guys. You guys are awesome, and I lucked out to have those who are still around. So, all of this to say that this series is going to be super fun, and just expect that even though there may not be a whole whack ton of episodes, the episodes are going to be in their old style, in the way that they used to be. So there's going to be derps, there's going to be live commentary, so you're going to have me say something and then be like, crap, that's the wrong word. Well, whatever, I guess I'll figure it out later. And instead of it being a recording where I can pause it and think, okay, wait, what was this word? What was this word? Okay, think of the word, then slyly sneak it in there like as if I never paused. And this also saves me a lot of time in post. So the thing about FTB Revelation and the way that I was recording that pack is that with it being the way it was me just recording a bunch of nonsense, trimming out the nonsense parts so that it was just the interesting parts, which meant that I would spend hours playing the game but only getting like 15-20 minutes of actual interesting footage. I ran into that problem on the most recent episode that I had worked on. So, and then after I'm done with all of that editing, I have to watch it over to make sure that everything transitions right. And by then, I've watched it so many times that I don't even need a script as to how I want to talk in the video. I have watched it enough that I know what goes on next, and I can just say it. So it's almost just as time consuming as taking the time out of my day every now and then to record a derpy video like this one live. And I feel like the live part puts a lot more of my heart into it, and you guys get to see more of how I think in real time and deal with my derps. But that also means that I can turn around, throw these 4 video clips or 5 video clips that make up this episode into Premiere, throw a transition between them if necessary, do any audio clipping or overlays if I say something funny that needs a video overlay into that. And then I can hit export, sit back for an hour for it to export because it takes forever. And then after it's done exporting, I can upload it to YouTube, and it doesn't take long. So even if I only have maybe 3 days in the week or three days every 2 weeks to sit down and record, I can get enough recorded content that I can easily slap that into a video long enough to make a decent length and put a video together that doesn't suck. So that's kind of my ramblings about the video production scene that I was going with before and that I'm going with next. I do want to prioritize finding some gold at some point, though. Oh, we have cassiterite. That is nice. So cassiterite is an early game resource for... What is this biome? Early game resource for tin. As I was mumbling under my breath, ooh, what is this biome? This is autunite. It's our resource supply for uranium and yellorium. And look at that, we have already found gold. People complain that Geolysis has too rare gold, or the gold supplies in Geolysis are too rare by default. They're not. Eat it. Not to be mean about it, but yeah, they're not that bad. Everyone says they're the worst, but they're really not. They're not. So, the nice thing about having gold here is that we can pick it up, and I'll leave the rest behind, but you can see this is a pretty big vein. We had 4 pieces here. I'm going to leave the rest behind, but I want to make myself a backpack at some point, but we have to take a few steps. So before the end of the episode, I want to do some very basic stuff. I want to find a place to live. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I've rambled enough, so I'm going to find an area that seems suitable for my inhabitants. I'm going to try to do something in my building style that I don't normally do. I don't know if you've noticed. I don't know how much of my stuff you, the particular viewer right now who has this YouTube video open in his browser or her browser or their browser. Whoever you are with this video open, I don't know if you have noticed. I have pretty much always, in any series I've ever uploaded to YouTube, lived in a friggin' plains biome. I don't know why. It's just a thing I do. Well, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm specifically challenging myself to live in rocky, or not necessarily rocky, but literally like uneven terrains that are more challenging to live in. More challenging to build on, rather. And make traversing a little bit more tough, but means that a good path is even more invaluable. So I'm going to specifically find an area that, maybe not the side of a cliff per se, but an area with maybe some nice hills, some nice trees around, something that is very atypical to what I usually live in, but still a cute, nice-looking area. I want a place that looks better than this place. No offense, but it's kind of, what even is this? A swamp. There you go. It's a swamp. So yeah, I'm going to find somewhere slightly different. So when I do, or if I find anything interesting in the meantime, I will return. So this is ironic. I found this cute little area. I thought it was really nice. We had the real rolling hills. I thought this would be a cool place to put a house on top of. Okay. So we have a preoccupied house here with a villager in it. This guy is rich. These stairs are wrong. I can live with the stairs being wrong, but that guy has some big monies. Ooh, more redstone. Very nice. I'll take a few of these things, but I don't want to take too much. Schematic. Hand pick. That's a good one to have. I will show you why. You know, and I think the rest of it I'll live without. I am kind of worried as to what this does. What? That made a sound. I'm curious what that did. Unless it was like, oh, it was a gold block over here in the corner. You know what this means? If we got a gold block just from exploring? I know this isn't, you know, the conventional way of getting a gold block. Can I even mine this? I don't think I can even mine this. Cool. Well, never mind then. I can steal the jukebox, though. Haha. So... oh well, we may have just completely ruined our chances at that, but whatever. One thing I want to do, though... there's an iron golem here. Iron golems drop iron. And I don't know why critting does not work with this axe, but that's okay. I hope this axe survives. It didn't. This is going to take a while. I'm hoping he drops some iron, though, because if he does, I can get myself a very important thing. He does. Ooh, and he dropped enough. Okay, cool. This is an important thing, I promise. I know I just did a really cruel and unusual thing, but it's important. Getting iron early game is not easy. Remember, you have to get yourself the smeltery. But there's one really important thing that you definitely want to get. And it's a map. You may have noticed we don't have one yet. That's because of the fact that we have a mod called Antique Atlas. This is how you make an atlas with a compass. So you basically have to get yourself either do what I did, which was luck, or be a little cheeky, be a little hacky, and do it that way if you really want. But I like the way that I normally would do it, which is struggle. I know it sounds sad, but struggle without an antique atlas for a hot minute, and then you'll really be glad you have one when you do. Even then, we have struggled slightly, I guess, but not as much as I normally do. But I couldn't decline the offer when it was standing right there in my face. So, with the atlas, we can right-click. This is our mini-map and our full map as well. So we can right-click with the atlas, and you can combine it with your Akashic Tome. So I'm just going to reset this guy, and we can put it up here with this to get this. Now you'll notice as an Akashic Tome item itself, I'm not actually getting anything from it. It's not actually doing anything for me in its current state. But if I select it from my Akashic Tome, then as long as it's in my hotbar, if I move it outside of my hotbar, it does not work. But if it is within my hotbar, we have a persistent map which will follow us along. We'll map as we go, and is really useful for just the little things here and there, honestly. It's not really highly detailed, as you can easily tell, but it's great for mapping things like which areas are wooded or which areas are swampy, as you can see. It's also good at doing, and here's like desert, for example. It's really good at notifying or signifying villages as well. And it has a really nice, cute little waypoint system. So if we had something here, we could give it a name, we can give it a symbol, and boom. And if we're done with it, we can just do this. So we can also hide and show the markers if we want, and we can export this map somewhere if we also wanted to. So you can see scale and blocks. So each one of these areas is like a chunk. We'll keep it on follow player. And I like to keep it probably about that chunk view that I had it before. And then the map will be following us along as well. So this will be really good, I think. So I am going to continue my random shenanigans. We did get that hand pick, and I'll show you what it does soon. But I will give you a hint that it is an efficient method of mining things, like a pickaxe. But it's slightly different in one way. If you could guess what that way is, I'll give you credit. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, does it mine faster? No. Does it make the item fly into your inventory? No. Oh, okay, I give up. So, I think we should live in this area. We have this kind of bright, swampy-ish area over here that's not that abysmal if I filled in those holes. We have this tree area, which would not look so bad if I filled it in with... maybe it'll just look bad. I don't know. We have this area over here, though, that's really pretty. We have that little house over there that we could take over. Look, it even has a chimney. Oh my gosh, this is adorable. Even has a little chimney. But I like this area. I think it's got some potential. We have a desert over here, really accessible. I feel like this is kind of the center of the world. So let's settle down here for the episode. I had hoped to get a couple more things done by now, but it's already actually getting to be a pretty long episode, honestly. So I'm just going to kind of clean up some of this stuff here, knock out some blocks and put some stuff around and get some stuff settled in. And let's go ahead and get started with getting settled in a little bit. So I'm going to want a few things. I'm going to want probably 3 chests. There's one that I know I specifically want to be separate from the others. So we will have a normal storage chest here. No big deal, I guess. And then I want this chest here because I'm going to put my schematics in it. These schematics don't ever stack. Storing them will never be easier. So get used to them always being kind of a bit of a pain, but they're not that bad. I mean, there are worse things in the game than a thing that doesn't stack that you need only whenever you're making new tools. Fun fact, your tool doesn't stack either, so I don't think you should probably be sweating it. We'll set our spawn point there, light it up a little bit around here, just in case we get caught off guard at night. But I'm expecting to have a house built in just a few minutes. Might need a couple of resources, but it won't be a huge house. It'll be a simple house, but it'll be something. So that's stage 1. Now that we have a chest, I can actually use all this sugarcane that I've been harvesting. I've been harvesting a lot of it as we go. That's a good thing, though. We're going to need it. So we want to get ourselves a sword, and a shovel, and I don't know how to make a crossguard blade, honestly. Crossguard. Okay, so it's a few more of these. And we'll grab some more wood just in case I need it for sticks. So we want to make... We already have our hand pick, pickaxe, all those things. We want to make ourselves... what was it? What was it? I already forgot. We want to make ourselves a crossguard. And that's for a sword specifically. You don't need it for much else. We want to make ourselves more paper. Because we want a... Wait, did I need... No, I didn't need it. Oh well. We wanted a shovel head, which you notice these are shaped just like shovels. So this will get you a shovel, and we'll want a sword blade. And with these, I can combine these materials here and there with what I have. Not that I have a lot of it. To get something better. So we can start by just clearing out a couple of layers from here. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be kind of sort of cleaned up a little bit. So we'll grab a couple of these to craft with. So we also will want... I wish I had another piece of iron. We have bones. Bones are pretty okay. So we can take a look at the... if we go over here to our manual for this, we can look at the materials for handles. Bone has a modifier of 0.9, where wood has a modifier of 1. I don't really know what the benefit of using a bone would be, but for a haft, is there any benefit? Yes, it has a higher enchantability, but a lower durability. I don't care about enchantability at this stage in the game, so I think we're actually better to use our bone for something else, like possibly growing plants or trees, and instead just stick with stone and sticks. So I think that should be good. Pardon any delirium, by the way. I am pretty tired right now. And... don't know what the material cost of a crossguard is. Is it 1? Then we can use an iron crossguard. Why not? We can do iron crossguard with a stone sword blade. Oh, is that just 1 as well? That makes sense. And then with a single stick, should get us a stone sword with 170 durability and 5 damage. Not great, but it's good enough. We can go ahead and get ourselves a few of the other things that we're going to want. We want to get ourselves a new axe. We want to get ourselves a shovel. Remember, we are pretty poor right now, so we're just going to stick with the cheesy, you know, stone and wood combos. And we'll make a new pick. just as a backup. So we should be good to go as far as our tool front goes now, at least for now. Not very long, but we can also make this place feel like home a little bit by pushing a sheep off the edge. I mean, jukebox. Jukebox. So I don't know where I want to put it. I guess we'll just put it here for now. We can put some music on while I go and harvest some materials. It looks like there's a nice tree over there. I don't know if that's jungle or not. It looks like it might be jungle. Oh well, I'm going to harvest trees nonetheless, get some wood, get some resources to build with and stuff. And, oh, hello, Kimberlite. Neat. So this is where the antique atlas comes in handy. We found Kimberlite. Alright, fine, we'll put it down. We will say probably just that logo, because I don't like to use diamonds unless it's something like big loot. So now we'll know, and I'll just put a torch down to signify that when I get in this area, which I know has a diamond, that's where I found one. And there's one there as well. That's nice. There are 2 diamonds and this villager guy. My music is way too loud though. Jukeboxes and note blocks, 50%. I don't really know what to do with that guy. But this area is really cute. I might use this just for a hot minute, but I don't want to really rely on it. I am going to fix this, though. So, I think, honestly, I don't know. I wanted to have a house built by the end of this episode, but I don't think we're going to have time. So I might just fix up this one and then call it an episode once this one is fixed. That might have actually been most of it. So yeah, I do apologize. It is kind of late at night as well. It's like 12:31. My eyes are literally having a hard time staying open because I've been up since like 3:30. So, my apologies. Just kind of live a crazy life right now. So I think that's most of the stairs that were chaotically broken. Most of them. They definitely seem to have a hard time facing on that direction. Alright, well, very cool. I'm glad we got kind of settled in. I'm also sad that we lost that gold block. We could have used that for a really cool thing, actually. Is there anything behind the fireplace? No. Oh well. We can relight that later. So, yeah. I'm going to take this jukebox out, because goodness, this is loud. It's louder than I remember them being. And I think I'm going to call it there. So I hope you guys are excited about this Let's Play series. As excited as I was before I started getting tired. So lots to come, lots to see eventually. Very little is going to get done off camera unless I specifically say. So next episode we'll build a house. And it'll probably be pretty soon. Side note, my spring break is coming up, so I am probably going to push a few extra videos when spring break actually hits, because I have no plans because of car troubles. So I hope you guys are excited, and I will see you guys in the next one very soon. Alright, later.